Here we are, everybody. It's move-in day. Move everything into the boat. We got battery. Going to put the battery on charge. Bought the battery. It's smaller. It's still a marine battery, marine rated. We'll talk more about that. Put it on the charger, top it off. We got the solar charger to hook up to maintain it and trickle charge it. We got the totes. Here's the other one. Tools and utilities and everything in it. Fire extinguisher, trolling motor. First and foremost, we will be taking this carburetor off and cleaning it. Did not get to it last year. Always run it dry. If you remember, I was counting on an Indian summer. We didn't get it last year, so therefore I didn't get to do that. So today we're going to do this. Not a big deal, unless something goes haywire, which it does. First thing we're going to do here is we've got a very small cotter pin. I'll show you that, holding the choke. We're going to disassemble that to begin with. You have to be really careful with that. That thing will fly off. Get you back in here for an overview. Needle nose pliers. Spin it around there, get to where we can get a hold of it. Knife tip, because that thing is tiny. Bring it up some. Get it bent a little straighter. My big hairy hand in the way there. Does it help anybody seeing any of this? Let me save some battery here. I'll be right back. Well, we got the little cuss out. That's not easy to work with. That is a tight place to get into. I'm going to drop that. A little pin goes through there, the cotter pin goes through, and the choke handle removes. There's that. Next step is our mixture control. It has to come out. I'll just spin it out here. Whoops. We did not get that Indian summer last year. What we got was in December, way after I was expecting it, and not ready to get this out, run everything dry, and drain it like we usually do. Next, we're going to remove the starter rope. 5/16. Got a bolt there and one back here. Using a ratchet wrench. Not really quite feasible to get down in there with a socket on that one. You just can't do it. Ratchet wrench works like a charm. You have to remove this to get to one nut back there on the carburetor. Otherwise, you could leave this alone. We'll start over here. Bring the gear up so the wrench can fit under there a little bit. Get it broke loose. Our weather's been weird. Y'all are probably sick of me complaining about how much it rains. Oh. And I'm sick of how much it rains. Last year and this year has been a really rainy season. You know what? I might have just hosed myself there. I don't know how. I went too far. So I'll remove this one totally. That's what we don't want to happen. Let's see if that gives me a little extra room here. Let's pop the wrench out. There we go. Then we need to go to an open end to finish. If you come up too far, you get caught under the starter gear. Still not finger tight. It's tedious. It's not hard. And it's loose. Okay. There's the recoil starter assembly with rope. We're just going to lay him aside here. We'll restring that and we'll get to see it later, what that looks like. Now we need a flat screwdriver. Flat screwdriver, reach in there. There's a flat screw behind the linkage here. You can see the linkage. Opens the throttle plate so it can ingest more fuel. There's a washer right there, so you have to watch for it. Just a flat washer, lets it spin easy. And there. Flat washer, slotted screw. Not so much a screw, but a bolt. We're back. Have 7/16 nuts holding the carb on. This is a 1975 model, so it's still standard. Now here's where you have to go in from the side. We'll remove that starter pulley system. You have to go in from the side to get this nut here. I don't know if that's really visible or not. Down there. But you have to go in from the side to get that. Finger tight. Spin it off without dropping it. Lay it up there. This one. Here's the rest of our linkage. We're going to go ahead and take it off before we lose it. And the second nut holds the carb on. And that's it, except for the fuel line. There's the carburetor. We'll be right back. So anyway, I've disconnected the fuel line at the pump because it's easier to reclamp than it is right up next to that tight spot in the carburetor. You'll notice I'm using zip ties. Yes. It is unbelievably difficult to find a clamp that small that's not thin aluminum that holds. And the zip ties has worked forever. So we're going with the zip ties. All right, well, let's go crack this baby open and clean it. So I got the battery hooked up, topping it off. 5 of 24. Something's amiss here. Charger keeps kicking off. Charge voltage. Battery recondition. I don't want it to recondition. I just want it to charge. I don't want to. It's about 85% full there. See if we can kill the glare. Anyway, that's topping off. We'll get the solar charger hooked up when we take it back. Keep it that way. I said last fall and all winter I wanted to wait till we got some good fresh batteries for the season in. 3 years best we get out of these to begin with. Yeah, they're Walmart. I've reduced size. I won't say half the weight, but it feels like half the weight. A lot smaller battery. For how we fish, this is perfect. This will do fine. We don't troll around all the edges like the bass fishermen. Excuse me. Now we are going to do some trolling this year for her to catch bass. You know, give her opportunity. We're going to do that, but we still don't rely on the trolling motor as much as everybody else does. In years past, we have went as many as 4 trips between charging the big, huge marine RV batteries, and still not got it down to 50%. So this will do us fine. You know, we're converting everything to LED. Everything is low drain except the trolling motor. So this will do us fine. Maintenance free under normal operating conditions. 675 cold cranking amps at 32 degrees. Now we're not cranking, but like I said, you know, and with the solar charger and everything, this will do fine. We don't take it out often, but when I do, getting tired of lugging that massive big battery around. It's heavy, it's bulky, and it's overkill for what we do. So we have downsized on the battery this year. And a good fresh one, 5/24 manufacturer date. Like I've been waiting all winter. I didn't want to get one made last year and take a year off of our usable life of it. So right now we're just topping it off, then hook up the solar charger, and we're going to be good to go. Okay, we're back. We got the CARB here in hand, slotted screwdriver. We'll start taking the bolts out. You can see some stuff leaking out of it. That's the old gas. We've only done this one other year. We didn't get around to running it dry, winterizing it. I forget what that was. That was 7 or 8 years ago. But I learned. And again, we counted on an Indian summer last fall. We didn't get it. What we got was in the middle of December, and going fishing was the farthest thing from our mind. You know, we had gotten sick with the big bad virus that was going around. So we wasn't getting out anyway. To run this dry, yeah, I could have popped a drain plug out of the bowl, but that doesn't really do much for the jets. A couple of little jets in there, and by the way, these screws are all the same size, same length, same size. Not a big deal. And really, the hardest part of the job is taking that choke apart, that little cotter pin. We call them Carter keys down Appalachia stand where we're from. See, yeah, there's some crud in there. The charger just quit running, so I think my battery's full. It shouldn't take much. I don't know how full they charge them at factory. We getting a good visual on that, dear? Okay. Reusable gasket rubber. Let's take this puppy out. The little pin holds the float. And the check valve. Here's the check valve. Lets the fuel into the bowl. Now I want to point something out here. Might have picked up on it last time, whatever. That's a cork gasket. There's not much left of it. It's disintegrated around. But being this old, I have not found a good replacement for it. You know, where it seals, you can see the smooth ring around it. It's still sealed, so I'll leave it. I've not found, like I said, I've not found a good replacement for that. So, anyway, there's the main inlet. Lets it into the bowl. Check valve and everything. It actually looks pretty good. I'm amazed. It looks far worse. It's had old, flaky, nasty stuff in it. Dried up when I run it dry. Yeah, I'm beginning to wonder if leaving it wet might not be the other option. Mm. Now here is the issue. Right there. The tip of my thumb is a teeny tiny jet. There's been a little flake of crud get on that and messed us up one summer down on Dow Lake, if you remember. Mm-hmm. I mean, it coughed, it spit, it sputtered. You had to run full choke and you still wasn't getting much out of it to keep it running. That is a teeny tiny thing. Well,
it took us forever to find it.
Ingenious me, you know, when I did find it, tried to use one of her needles, her sewing needles, to clean that out. I broke the needle off in it. It took a full day to find a high pressure enough hose to blow in some jets. They're up in the top here. To blow in some jets and blow that tip of that needle out, so I don't do that no more. That's why I'm judicious on doing a cleaner on this thing instead of some sort of mechanical clean. That thing is teeny tiny. So I'm going to spray this out, and I'm not going to do it on camera. Yeah, I'm not going to say there's any sniffing of the cleaner like there was the PVC glue or not. We'll wait and see. No, seriously, I don't want to get spray all over the camera or the lens. So we'll be right back. We're just going to spray in there. We're going to spray down there. We're going to spray in here. We're going to spray the bowl out and all the openings and stuff in it. Say, now, if I would do it and be happy with it, you just pop this plug here and it drains the bowl. And like I said, that would be great, but it doesn't ensure me cleanliness of that jet right there. And there's a jet right there on that. So, and the inlet opening. So we'll be right back.
Yes, so what you're using.
Today, we're not sponsored by any company, by any means at all. I don't have any CARB cleaner left. We're going to use brake clean. It's the same thing. Cleans and dries. This is what I have on hand. This is what I'm going to use. Okay, we're going to interrupt here. Down there, use that as a pointer. You can see some crud floating around. That, you know, I sprayed in here. Sprayed in that inlet, and it come out here. And it flushed that out. That's enough to clog that little jet up.
Yeah, it is.
So this is why I do that. I mean, even if I run it dry, that doesn't really eliminate that, the debris that gets hung up in the jets. So this is why I'm kind of meticulous about doing this every year. We got out one year and things went south on us. Yeah, we got a trolling motor, we got a battery and everything else, so we got backup. Your boy ain't going to paddle for nothing, okay? Mm-mm. If I have to put another little 2-horsepower kicker motor back there, I'm not going to paddle.
Isn't that what the trolling motor's for?
And but anyway, we got backups, but like I said, that you can see it coming out, and there was some debris come out of that. So spray the whole thing down, get it good and clean. Here is the fuel inlet. It's good and clean. I'm not going to run this stuff down through the rubber hose. And that's a weird hose. No, that's not vacuum tubing. That is actually fuel line that I bought at a boat shop. So it's rated for fuel. But there again, if I just pop that drain plug, drain the bowl, that would be pretty cool. A lot of people just do that. I don't want to be stuck out in the middle of the lake in the middle of the night when one of those little pieces of debris dislodges and gets in that thing, and there we are. You know, we've done that once, and we learned. So this is why I do this every year. It's not a big thing. Like you've seen, you know, the hardest part is taking that choke lever apart. So we're going to we done rinsed this, come out good and clean. There's 4 little teeny tiny holes. You'd never be able to see them. You got to be just right with a flashlight to see them. In the top here of this body, that this jet feeds, you can see the channel going up through there. And there's 4 almost micro holes. I don't know what else to call them. But that's important. Whatever that is important for the running of the motor. So, hold on, we'll be right back. Had a little flashback there. We're going to spray this out one last time. That's the mixture control. When we go to reset that, we'll talk about where it sets at on this motor. Give it a general cleaning up, because you've seen, you know, that mixed oil, it eventually kind of saturates everything in there over a season. And here is the fuel inlet channel. From the bottom half it runs to this and into that, and this is where the needle valve goes that regulates inlet depending on the float. We're not going to spray hard and get stuff everywhere again. So there we are. We'll let her dry real good. And that's it for the CARB clean. Okay, we are going to start the reassembly now. We sprayed our bolts off, cleaned them up. Like I said, this mixed gas, the oil is going to seep around about everywhere. We got our bowl. We got our carburetor. Float with the check valve. Gasket. So we're going to start down here. Now, yeah, it's kind of key how this goes back together. It's got that fuel inlet. You can see the fuel line running in. So that it's almost reversible, but not quite, due to that hole there. We're actually going to put it on here first. We're going to turn the bowl upside down and assemble. But anyway, there's the fuel inlet. It comes through the bowl into here, then out through the check valve, the float valve. So we're going to line up there. Of course, we got that little dinky port right there. All right. Now see if I got the shakes or not enough to get this done. There's the check valve, the needle valve. We're going to drop it right in there where the fuel comes in. We got to get the pin. Start the pin. It's going to take 2 hands, so bear with me. Line it up through, of course, and there it is. Now we're going to look and confirm that the check valve is in there. See it, dear? Mm-hmm. It's in there where it should be. It's free floating. It's not bound up. And there's that cork gasket. Like I said, yeah, all these kits that I've ordered does not come with anything that closely resembles that gasket. Now we're going to take the bowl and we're going to okay, there's the problem. If that pin's out just a little bit, the bowl won't set. It's got to be flush. You can see that it's flush on each side. Pin eased out on me a little bit. we're going to line up visually the best we can a hole and get a start. Just a few threads just to line that gasket up. Okay. We want to go to opposite. That one in the dark looks to be fairly lined up, if not jiggered a little bit. Get a few threads. Now this thing has 5 slotted bolts, so doing a complete opposite pattern of tightening is going to be off a little bit because there's number 5. You can feel when that bolt's dropping free into the carburetor versus hitting the gasket. Run it down a little bit. Get them all lined up. I was born at night, but it wasn't last night. That's why when I ordered this rebuild kit, I ordered that reusable gasket. So we're going to start up here, snug him down. Snug. Whoop. I'll stab myself here. Snug. Going to have to go up here or over there, either one. Like I said, it's kind of a odd thing. Snug. Can you hear that? The float's operating in there. So it's free, it ain't bound up. And go to the opposite corner again and snug. Snug. We're going to go here and snug. I'm going to start again and just take it around. You getting everything there? Okay. Miss Sonia is here. Snug. Snug. Ouch. Felt that one. Snug. Snug. On the oddball there. Snug. I actually like to go around them again. Let's go ahead and do that just to make sure one didn't loosen up while the rest snugged. 2, 3, and I'm getting a little bit out of them. 4, 5. Now I've rebuilt this. I've got that new cap, new seats, everything in here. That was in 2019. Had a problem. It would cut down, lose serious RPM out in the middle of the lake. It would run, but it would cut down to just near idle speed, if you remember. Got us out in the middle of Buckeye Lake like that. I mean, that's kind of out there. We was way to the other end away from the boat ramp. It's 7 miles away. And anyway, I was thinking carburetor or fuel system. Something was clogging up. Rebuilt the fuel pump. Rebuilt the carburetor. Changed the plugs. Changed everything. Changed the coil packs. Still randomly, intermittently, it would cut out on us. I was sure it was a carburetor, so I ordered all new everything. And got it in, overhauled everything, fuel pump, you name it. Still no avail. So that's new. All the jets and everything is in there. I say new in 2019, through the course of that summer. Everything was all original before. You can tell by that cork gasket in that center jet in there. You know, that's an original. That's no EM thing. And anyway, this thing got a major rebuild, and it needed it. You know, it's a 75 model, is all original. The story on this motor, the guy I bought it from, put it on Craigslist. I seen it It was about 30 miles away. I called him. Hey, I asked him what you want for it. He said, I don't know. I said, I'll give you $300 for it right now, and I'll be there in an hour. Okay, deal. So got over there. He told me the story, put a picture of it up in the stand here. That's how I found it when I got over there. He said when he was a little boy, his grandpa bought a boat and this motor, brand new. He had just retired and was going to go fishing. And that was great. They went out 2 or 3 times. He said no more than 4. And Grandpa was diagnosed with cancer, and Grandpa didn't make it very long. So his dad, this guy's dad that I bought it from, got the motor when Grandpa passed. He kept it around. They may have used it a time or two, or a few. He said no more than a few, because him and Dad always worked and never had much time. So this guy got it eventually. He said it's been out here in the garage on this stand, and you can tell by that stand's been around a while. He said, I don't have time. I work away, I work construction, and I just ain't got time. He said, I'd rather see somebody get some use out of it than to sit here and lock up. And I asked him, I said, how's it run? And he fired it up, run perfect. So we made the deal, and I paid $300 for this motor. Yeah, I was willing to give that, and that's what I offered him right there. I'll take it, he said. He said, the only condition, just take it and enjoy it. Get some use out of it. He said it was mine and Grandpa's, and we never got to enjoy it. And I promised him that. So we took off with this motor, and took it home, put gas in it, put it on this boat, and we ran it for 3 years before I done anything with it.
Yeah, it started right up.
It started right up over there. He may have, got it started and warmed it up before I got there. But anyway, started right up and ran on the stand with a hose. 3 years later, we hit Dow Lake down there in Athens. Started up and always checked for water flow. Well, there wasn't no water coming out of it. Hardly. The impeller went out of it. All right, we got a trolling motor. We went on and we had our day and stuff. And that big monstrous battery that we don't need. So got home, next days off, I tore into that. And the impeller had dried up and got brittle and disintegrated. So I put a new impeller in it and got to looking. Now I took the impeller to a shop for the model number and whatever other particulars they need. And he said, how old is that motor? I said, it's a 75 model. He said, from the looks of this book, that's a factory impeller. So this is in 2017 or 18. Pretty sure 2017, 2 years. So we went ahead and got one and put a new impeller in it in 17. During that mess that we had to where it was cutting out on us in 2019, I changed the spark plugs from the original. The original, I still got them, had overspray where they'd sprayed the engine block, down around the base of the plugs. Everything was original on it, run like a top. Now, I changed the points, I changed the coil packs, changed everything, could not figure it out. It done it randomly, intermittently, under a load. Some days it'd be fine. Other days you get downrange and it'd cut out. But anyway, all of this was original when I got it in 2015. Spring of 2016, I'm sorry, spring. Because we was flooded in at home and I had to wait for the water to go down before I made a move on it. And I went through a few inches of water on Dexter Road there to go out and get this thing. Get this motor. But anyway, there's the backstory. When his little kid, I say 30s, 40s, something like that, he was a little kid, Grandpa. Quick update. The battery charger ran maybe 10 minutes. And it's in a trickle mode right now, a maintainer. So the battery is full. We're starting out full. Like I said, we'll mount the solar thing when we get over there. Miss Sonia here. She is here today. We're doing dual duty. Of course, you know, we got our granddaughter Abby wiping this out. And like I said, use mixed fuel, I don't care. You're going to get residue seeping around everywhere. Going to catch a little debris in there. Clean up best we can. I'd like to take some Dawn in there and hose that out. It's not in the cards today. All right, we're back. We got the clean and everything done. We're going to go back together. First mate Sonia is wiped out in there a little bit. I want to spray and hose that out, clean it up, but it's a lot better than it was. But reassembled carburetor, back on, again, reusable gaskets, 7/16 nut, if you can get a thread without dropping it, and we got it. Run it down to hold the carb in place. Now this one is the problem. See, that one is the problem. Get my needle nose here. That is not unusual. It can't go down the engine in there. It might be able to go down the lower shaft. I ain't been that far in it. Jeez. A little bit of curved needle nose action. And this 2 fingertips, and then try to turn it to get a start. And I got it. I only dropped it once. So we're off to a good start. 7/16, again, old school stuff, standard. No metric. Run it down. Snug it. This is aluminum and it's cast. It will break. So you have to be conscious of what you're doing. Don't over tighten one side opposed to the other. I broke a few thermostat housings way back in the day like that. Over tighten one side. That's when I was young and learning. Okay, we're good. There's that. I have an assist there. We will slide this fuel line back on there. We'll clamp it here shortly. That wasn't a big thing, just slid that fuel line on there onto the fuel pump. We'll get a look at that fuel pump here in a minute before we're done. All right, now let us go with this linkage. Fits either way, same direction. I can't remember if it fits. Yeah, I'm going to have to learn to pay attention to that one of these days. Yep, there we went. Starting to get a little shaky here from hunger. Dropped the washer down here. Needle nose is a little magnetized, but not enough to grab the bolt. We won't go far with those because we may well need them again. So, and there again, the problem is room to work. Just to get a thread. Using 2 fingertips to turn it to get a start. Now, let's see. It's there, but you know what? I got this backwards. It is going to rub the starter thing. So I got to turn that linkage around. I said I'd do this. I don't do it often enough to remember that orientation. So, we take this back loose. Maybe it don't. I don't think it. From the looks of it, this has got me before.
Yeah. There is only one way.
Yeah, I mean it's you are not going to wiggle that in. You're not going to fit that into there, that throttle plate, from the other direction. It goes downwards, not up, so yeah, alright. Maybe I was right. It just looks like it's going to interfere with that recoil thing. Alright, now let's try it. Come on, line up. Like I said, you can almost get in there and do something. Almost. Operates freely. Alright, now give an extra little torque on that. My elbow clicks as a torque wrench. That's how I know that works. So, alright, we are going back with the mixture control. Now the book says screw it all the way in, of course without overseating it. Take it all the way in and back it out 2.5 turns. Now it's seated. Let me get a little mark on top there so I can count turns. Make a little. Alright, there. There's 1, 2.5. That's a good start point. Now once it gets good and warm, you have to adjust that from there. But 2.5 turns is a start point. Anyway, I had to do a battery change, so we're going to reconnect this choke handle in. Let's see. The little Carter key pin. See if I can get that out there a little bit better. Got a little slot straddles the metal tab. There's a key place you can reach it and a key place that you can't. Yeah, I'm not so sure that. Let me get a start here with this. Look at that. I'll be. And this dinky Carter pin. Need to flatten that out some more. straighten it. There. Goes down in this little place right here. And of course it's not perfect, so it's going to fit me. Got to start. And there it is. Now we got to bend that little tiny prong out a little bit. And it's not coming off. Choke reattached. Now the problem, it ain't a problem, the fun is going to be the starter. Let's look at this handle. Let me get my screwdriver here. Original Evinrude pole handle. Has a metal insert. Rope zigzags around in there, creates friction, locks it in. You might as well just go ahead and undo this when you rewind that pole rope, because it really ain't going to work any other way. Just save yourself the hassle and do it. Take it loose. Now we bring our pull rope up. It's not where it needs to be on the spring. Right now I'm just rewinding it. And that's fine. That's even better. And like I said, you just ain't going to get away with all of it. So anyway, we rewind it. Got a notch down there, and down in here is a pin of the spring. Now I've never unsprung that. I've managed to not do that so far. Now we'll see how the day ends up, if that happens or not. Here's a guide pin. Goes in here. Yeah. Kind of don't matter which end goes where, but I can tell by the wear which end was what. So we get our guide rod in place, seats right down there, and we give this an extra turn and then set down on that pin that goes across the bottom of those springs. That gives you enough tension to stay. A little bolt. I didn't lose it. I can't remember where I put it. It looks like this. So we just had a close call, saved by Miss Sonia over there. So, see if I can't get back in on this. A bolt went flying on me somewhere, or it dropped off the seat where I laid it. The other bolt that holds the starter in place. We have pulled grass and everything else here, looking for it. So we're back in the groove. Maybe if I get lined up here. There she goes. I felt it take that time. Now we'll get the pull rope restrung. Oh yeah, good compression. My calibrated guess puts that at about 80 to 90 pounds. Let's see if I can get this out here where it can be seen. Okay, it comes up and through. Pull some slack. You have to start at the far end. Start here. Work your way around. All that locks in place. Whoops. Losing my slack. Creates friction. It's not like the tying a knot in the handle deal. Now, let me find my screwdriver here. Press the rope down in them places. Make sure it seats good. The metal frame is full and end to end. Now we just slide the rubber handle up over it. Locks are in place. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is a CARB job. We've had a little break here and there. We've had a neighbor come over and talk off and on. We socialize. He's over there working on his pontoon boat. He's doing a little bimini top work today. So we got to talk back and forth. So you know we've had some delays here, but there we are. Whoop! Let's put the mixture knob back on. Like I said, 2.5 turns. That's a start point. You got to get the motor warm, take it out and run it, then you can fine tune it in. But that's another video. Here we are, done deal. Cycles, choke's good, mixture later when it gets warm. Everything's connected. See this bit of ugliness compared to this one? We're not going to talk about that. When we was looking for that cutting out thing, it may have accidentally got hung up in here in these teeth and chewed up a little bit. Works fine the way it is. Just had to seal it. We need to clamp that. And let's cover it up. That part is done, baby doll. Put the cover on it, makes it go faster. Makes it aerodynamic. Hold that there. See, that fantastic wind hits it here and just shoots up and away. That's a go faster. There was a day these had to be licensed. 1977 is the last year this was licensed. It's under, I forget what horsepower now.
Actually 79.
Well, she's going to make a boob out of me and say 79. But anyway. All right, Miss Particular, you're just fixing to load out now. So, you could have been doing that this whole time. Yeah, okay, look. Let's see, it's got a metal tang there, yep. It goes in that notch up in here and rocks down.
And there.
And this.
Ah, okay. I
There.
figured there was something to hold it.
You ready to load this thing up?
Yep.
Get everything in it that's supposed to be?
Yep.
All right, let's do that.